Dude, thank you for coming
Oh my
down.
God, so good to be back.
Thank you for coming down and see. You know, we should get a fireman's pole for you.
I would love a fireman's pole.
You're right above us.
We could fully Wayne Manor this entire
You
situation.
just pull back the Sharpie thing, press a button,
And then I come down.
and then you fly down. Thank you for doing this. I want to hear about everything. There's so much to talk about. First of all, how's the baby?
Baby's good. The baby is, I think 10 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
But it's interesting. He's my second baby, so that's why I say I think. Your first baby, you know exactly how old they are every minute. And then the second one, you're like, how long have you been here? Yeah, I know there was a time you weren't here, and now you're
now
here.
You're here.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. Yeah, the baby's already got his driver's license. You're like, yeah, whatever. But to tell the story, if you don't mind telling it again, because it is one of the best stories that I can't believe it happened to you, dude. I can't believe it's real. And how Alexi had the baby, and everything's great. The baby's healthy.
Yeah, the baby's great. The baby's a regular baby now, but my wife fully delivered our baby in the lobby of our apartment building, which was not the plan.
Oh, it wasn't.
No,
it
we
wasn't. Oh, that's interesting.
we were gonna do hospital.
Oh, interesting. That's
Yeah.
a move. That's a move. That's a choice.
We were gonna do
That's a
hospital, and
choice.
then at the last minute, we're like, everyone does hospital.
Yeah,
Let's do lobby.
let's do it in the lobby of our building.
But we were on the way to the hospital, and our first baby we almost had in an Uber and made it. And so this time we were dialed in, you guys. I want to stress that this was not us being lax about the miracle of birth. We were ready to go. The minute she had a contraction, we were going to just go. And then she just had one contraction.
That's it.
That was basically
just
it.
one and done.
Long
One, like,
contraction.
one long,
and we got down to the lobby, and the Uber was outside, and we started walking in the Uber, and my wife just said, no, it's not gonna, no. And there's this thing you do as a guy where you have no idea of what it feels like, but you think this moment calls for me to be an expert. I think it's known as mansplaining, where I said, look, I know you think the baby is coming,
Let's get
but
an Uber.
let me tell you how this works. We're going to go to the hospital,
No,
and you'll have the
idiot,
baby
we're
there. And then
not.
I looked down, and her sweatpants looked, there were two people in the sweatpants. You know the difference between, you know how tandem bicycles, that was the noise she made.
Yeah, no.
You know how tandem bicycles are different than bicycles?
Yes, I do know that.
That was what her sweatpants. They were tandem sweatpants. And I don't know if you guys know this about lobbies and buildings, but they're a common area. They're sort of a thoroughfare, no less. Like that's where everybody, and it was a small lobby. And my wife, got on her back and basically very quickly delivered our child.
Wow.
Very quickly.
Very fast. And
I will say, I want to thank, and I did this on my show as well, but we had two doormen who basically had to be traffic cops to let us have this moment. It's a private moment.
Yeah. Hello.
Not just a private moment of like you're welcoming a child into the world, but like there are private parts involved.
Yes, of course there are. Yeah.
And it's interesting because we have these two wonderful doormen, and but it's been a different experience for both of them because one of them, I think he now believes he's our family member.
Yeah,
like
of course.
that he was there for this moment, and every time he sees the baby, I feel like he thinks they're like tied together for life.
Yeah.
And then the other doorman can't even look at my wife. Like for him, it was like I have seen too much, and I think.
It's like, hello. Yeah. But now you have this beautiful baby boy along with your other. How old is Ash?
Ash is now 2 years and 3 months old. Yeah.
So you know exactly to the
exactly.
day. And you're potty training.
We're potty training.
That's
We're
fair.
nailing it.
Mine came kind of easy. My girls are like, they kind of figured it out.
By nailing it, I mean it's not going well.
I understood. Yeah, no. I heard I read the sarcasm. Yeah, of course.
It's not. He's yeah. But
what's your method of
our
training?
method? Well, we read this book, and when I say we, my wife read a book, and then she told me to read the book.
Okay.
And I kept telling her that I was reading it, but I wasn't. But now, because of Kindles, they can't tell what you're reading. In the old days, if you were reading a Stephen King book, you couldn't say like, "No, I'm reading the potty training book," but now you can.
Yeah, because it's Kindle.
Yeah, so she's like, "Are you reading it?" And you go, "Yes," and then you just very slowly close one and then open the other.
Yeah, of course, the potty training book.
But the thing is, they say, the method we're using is keep an eye. One of us has to be watching him, and he will let us know, because they say like babies have tells when they're about to go to the bathroom. You know, they basically like show you somehow, whether it's like they cross their knees or something.
Yep.
His tell is that one of us stops looking, and then he takes a dump in the kitchen.
It's a good move. That's it.
And then he tells us.
That's a tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he tells you, like, look what I did.
But by the time he tells us, we know, because I think this is healthy. It's because his butt's not that far off the ground, but
tiny.
you can hear it hit.
Okay, all right, okay.
It's like it's like when you get a pound of salmon and they throw it on the scale.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know. Okay, all right, good now. Now I have that audio thing
Yeah.
that I can't unhear.
Yeah.
And but I thought this is super
yeah,
cute.
my wife sent me this when I was at work, and this made me real happy.
He's potty training on a little tiny toilet.
Yeah.
And he's just doing some reading, some light reading.
He's reading a magazine about his dad.
This is you on the cover of TV Guide.
Yeah, and that's an old TV guide. He's visiting his grandparents who save old TV guides with their child on it.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Pretty good.
Congrats on that. Dude.
Thank you.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.